Hey guys, how's it going? Will here, deep in the bunker at Tone Proper AV. And today I am super excited to be giving you a look at the Galaxy 32 Synergy Core, a brand new interface from Antelope Audio. This thing is super powerful. And today we're gonna be diving into the Galaxy control panel on my computer here and kind of showing you a little bit about the routing and what this interface can do for you. If you haven't checked out our last video where Nick unboxes the Galaxy 32 and gives you just a physical overview of the interface, I would really recommend checking that out. We'll put a link down in the description or up in the corner of the video as well. And make sure to stay tuned for our next video where Nick dives into a little more of a practical application of the Galaxy 32 Synergy Core. Not what you might think using it as an interface in your studio. We've actually got this brand new Midas Heritage D console right here in front of us. And like I said, Nick is gonna be diving into a practical application for how to use the Galaxy 32 as a live DSP over Dante with the Midas Heritage D. Super cool, super excited. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below so that you won't miss that video when it comes out. But for this video, we're gonna be diving into Galaxy control panel a little bit, so I'm recording my screen on my MacBook Pro over here. Just a little side note, this is an M1 MacBook Pro, and there is a little bit of an extra setup process to getting the Galaxy 32 to work with the M1 processor. We know that this M1 ARM architecture is super new to developers and hardware manufacturers, and we know that they're all working very hard to get their hardware and software working properly with M1. But for now, there's just a little bit more of a setup process to making sure that the Thunderbolt driver on the Galaxy 32 communicates properly with your M1 Mac. And if you check out the links in the description below, we're going to include a link to Antelope's own support page where they talk about how to get your M1 Mac working with the Galaxy series of interfaces. So make sure to check that out if you have an M1 Mac like I do right here. Now, if we hop over to my laptop over here, I'm recording my screen and you can see that I have the Antelope Launcher open. You're gonna need this program in order to use your Antelope products with your computer. This will allow you to activate your plugins, just see your device info, update your drivers, update your firmware, all that kind of stuff. Now, if we hop over to this Start Control Panel button right here, I also have Auto Run Control Panel checked so that whenever I open Antelope Launcher, it will automatically open Control Panel. But for now, we are just gonna go ahead and open Galaxy Control Panel using this button right here. Wait a second for that. All right, now that we're in Galaxy Control Panel, we can see the default tab that shows up when we open Galaxy Control Panel is our routing tab. Now, this may look a little daunting, but I can assure you that setting up your routing on your Galaxy 32 is as easy as dragging and dropping a file on your computer. You could take any analog input, any Dante input, HDX input, and route it anywhere you want. Analog out, Dante out, you can route it into your DAW, you can route it over MADI, you can route it into the built-in DSP in here, and that's what I'm gonna show you right now. So what we're gonna be doing in our next video is we're gonna be taking inserts off of 16 channels on the Midas Heritage D, and we're gonna be sending those over Dante into the Galaxy 32. And I've already done all the patching for that in the Midas Heritage D, and I've also made those subscriptions using a Dante controller. But I'll just go ahead and show you real quick. Hopefully you can see on this camera right here if I head over to patching. And then I go to our insert sends, and then on the output side I go to Dante. We can see that our insert sends for channels 33 through 48 are routed to our Dante outputs 17 through 32. And if we head to our Dante inputs and go to our insert returns on the output side, we can see that Dante inputs 17 through 32 are routed to our insert returns 33 through 48 on the Heritage D. And now if we hop over into Dante controller, which I have open on my laptop right here, we can see that I've made subscriptions for Dante outputs 17 through 32 coming from the Midas HD 9624, and those are going into Dante inputs 1 through 16 on the Antelope Galaxy 32. Don't worry about all these exclamation points. That's just because we don't have our playback computer hooked up to the Dante network at the moment. All right, now that we can see that Dante controller is all set up, let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we're back into the Galaxy control panel. Now, we know that Dante is coming out of here into Dante inputs 1 through 16 on the Galaxy 32. So all we have to do to get that going into our DSP on the Galaxy 32 is just select Dante inputs 1 through 16. I'm just clicking on number 1 and shift clicking 16 to select all of them. And we are going to go ahead and scroll down to our AFX in 1 through 32 in the output window here. And like I said, it's as easy as dragging and dropping a file on your computer just like that. Now we can see that Dante inputs are now being routed to AFX inputs. And now we want to do the exact same in the opposite. We want to take our AFX outputs and send those back over Dante outputs 1 through 16, which are then patched to our insert returns on the Heritage D. So we're going to go up to our input section again and select AFX out 1 through 16 with a simple shift click right there. And then we are going to head over to Dante out 1 through 16 right here and go ahead and just drag those on down. And now it's that simple. We've got 16 channels of Dante being inserted on 16 channels of our Heritage D, and those inserts are going through our built-in DSP, which we'll see in the AFX tab in Galaxy Control Panel. And now that we've got our Dante patched into our AFX on the Galaxy 32, we can just go ahead and head over to our AFX tab, and now we can see that AFX 1 is on Dante in1 right here. AFX 2 is on Dante in2, and so on and so forth all the way through channel 16. And in the next video, Nick is going to be showing you some of his favorite plugins on the Galaxy 32 Synergy Core and how he's going to be using them inserted on channels on the Heritage D. Super cool that we're able to do this. Now we're just going to dive in a little bit more to the Galaxy Control Panel, kind of show you how everything works in here. As you can see up at the top here, we've got our SPDIF volume controls for channels 1 and 2 right here, and we can go ahead and link those if we're going to make that a stereo monitor output. Same with ADAT here. We've got 4 channels of ADAT ready to go, and we can link those, and that will make our volumes linked, or we can unlink those and have independent volume control. Super cool up there. Now, if we head over to our mixer tab here, we've got 4 mixes built in to the Galaxy 32. Super cool. And on mix 1 lives our Aura Verb. This is a really, really cool reverb plugin. I know sometimes tracking in the studio using in-ears, sometimes the mix can just feel a little lifeless and lack some energy. And so being able to add our Aura Verb to whatever channel we want in our monitor mix is super cool. And it's just as easy as turning up this send knob on each channel. You can see we've got send, we've got pan, and we've got level, mute, solo, and link. Just like a little mini DAW built into the Galaxy 32. And then all of our reverb controls up here, and we can go ahead and turn that off or on. We can save or load presets for the reverb. Yeah, so super cool to be able to use that for a mix that's built into the interface. And then we also have 3 other mixes available to us, and we can also patch those to any analog output or digital output that's available to us on the back here using the routing tab. Like I said, it's as easy as dragging and dropping a file. We can just go ahead and head over to our mix 1, out 1, and 2, and say we wanted to send that to our analog TRS monitor outputs on the back of the interface. We could go ahead and just drag and drop the mix 1, out 1, and 2 to monitor 1 and 2 right there, and it's as simple as that. Now, a more practical application would probably be that you have your main near-field monitors in your studio patched into those analog TRS outputs. And as you can see here, we've got our DAW outs, and you're probably gonna have your main output from your DAW patched into outputs 1 and 2. And so let's just go ahead and take outputs 1 and 2 and instead patch those onto the analog monitor outputs. And now you'll be getting your DAW output 1 and 2 going straight to your near field monitors, and you can use the volume knob right on the front of the interface, which has steps to it. And you can see on the screen here that it comes up with a monitor volume level. You can turn that all the way up to 0 or all the way down to -infinity, and if you press that button, it will mute your monitors. Now that we've shown you the routing and mixer tabs, let's head over to the HDX tab. This gives us trim controls over all 64 HDX inputs available to us on the Galaxy 32. We've also got delay compensation control up here, and your loop sync controls down here as well. We've already shown you the AFX tab, super cool here. If you want to add a new effect, it's just this drop down right here. And we've got all of our real-time DSP and FPGA plugins available to us. Tons of cool stuff. You've got Auto Tune Synergy, which was made in collaboration with Antares. They make great auto-tune plugin. And we've got all sorts of EQs and mic preamps and compressors available to us as well. And then the next tab over in Galaxy Control Panel is gonna be mic emulation. Now this is super cool. Actually hidden over here, I have the Antelope Edge Solo, a super cool little modeling mic. And what we can do is if we were to have this connected in some way to the Galaxy 32 Synergy Core, what we could then go in here and do is select our Edge Solo, and then that's going to tell the Galaxy 32 what modeling mic is being used. And then in this drop down up here, we can select from a whole bunch of different mic models. Super cool that we're able to do that right within Galaxy Control Panel. All right, and then after the mic emulations tab is gonna be our trims control. And this is going to give us granular control over level trim on all of our analog inputs and outputs on our DB25 connectors on the back of the interface. Right now we have it set to all, so that if we turn one knob, it turns all of them. You can also set it to manual so that you can granularly adjust all of your trims for your analog inputs and outputs. And then the next tabs over from trims are gonna be our meters tabs. And we've got 2 meters tabs available to us, and we can select whatever inputs or outputs we wanna be monitoring on our meters right here in this drop down. Right now we've got our DAW out 1 through 32, and over here we've got our line out 1 through 32 for our analog outputs. So super cool that you're able to see meters for every little bit of I/O that's on this interface. Now, if we head up to the top of Galaxy Control Panel here, starting on the left of this top bar, we can see that we can choose our clock source, and we can make that any of our digital I/O on the back of the Galaxy 32. But as we all know, Antelope makes some really, really, really great clocks. So why wouldn't we just use the built-in clock here for our application? And actually in Dante controller, we've made sure to select the Antelope Galaxy as our preferred clock leader so that our playback machine and our Dante card built into the Midas Heritage D are all syncing to the Galaxy 32's clock. And now over on the right of this top bar, we can see we get an easy access to our sample rate. We have it set to 96K right now, just because that's what the sample rate of the Dante card in the Midas Heritage D is set to. So we just want to keep everything running on the same sample rate. But you can go from 32 all the way up to 192K, super cool. Now, if we hop over to this little gear icon right here, obviously this is gonna be our settings. We get control over panning loss, super cool. We've got an oscillator built in, actually 2 oscillators built in so that we can send test tones over any I/O that we need to, and we can mute and unmute each of those right here, and we can set the frequency that that oscillator is producing, and then also the level of both of our oscillators. We've also got our brightness control over the front panel right here, and you can see I'm changing the brightness of the screens. We can also turn on DC coupled inputs if that is something that we're going to be using in our application. And we can also set our Thunderbolt latency mode. Right now we have it set to normal. If you're in an application where you really, really need the lowest latency, you're going to set that to fast. And if you're using it in a studio where latency isn't really that much of an issue and you want to reduce the chance for any errors, you can go ahead and set that to safe. And then the last thing in our settings window is gonna be our sample multiplexing control. Super cool that that's built into this interface. So we can turn on SMUX for our MADI in and out and our ADAT in and out. Not really gonna dive into what that does in this video just because that's a little more of a deep dive into a completely different topic. So, but I'm sure that if you're using sample multiplexing, you already know what it does. So now what's super cool is if you're using multiple Galaxy interfaces in your studio or live environment, and you can't remember which one is which or which one you're controlling, if you hit this little button with the eye and the box around it in the top bar, you can see now that we are flashing a bunch of stuff on the front of the interface. So that's a really easy way to identify which interface you're controlling. Now, right here in the middle, we've got our monitors section, and this is just a copy of our volume knob that's on the front of the interface. You can see that as I'm turning this, it's also turning in Galaxy Control Panel. And then not only do we get mute control like we do on the front by just pressing the knob in, we also have the option to dim or sum it to mono, super cool. And then we also have a monitor trim control from 12 dBu all the way up to 22 dBu in this drop down right here. All right, now for the last couple things in Galaxy Control Panel, we're gonna head over to the top right where you see this little tab called Session. Now, when you make changes in Galaxy Control Panel, those are automatically stored on the Galaxy 32, so it will always save your last state, even if you close Galaxy Control Panel. It'll even work without having Galaxy Control Panel open. Want to make sure you know that all your DSP will still be running, all your routing will be the same as it was when you had Galaxy Control Panel open. This is just an interface to get it set up and make changes to everything that's running in the hardware. So on this Session tab here, we can save configuration files to our computer or to a flash drive connected to our computer. So say you're using your Galaxy 32 in the studio, but then you want to take it on tour with your band to use the built-in DSP. You can save your studio session file to your computer or to your flash drive just by clicking this save button right here. We can also select any parameter that we want to save or not save into this session file. So say there were some things that we wanted to keep the same depending on which session we have open. We could go ahead and uncheck those things right here, and then those will be not saved to the session file, so they won't be loaded when you open the session file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save everything to this session file and go ahead and click Save As, and we're gonna call this Galaxy Demo, and that's just gonna save to my desktop. And now, if I ever wanted to load this up in the future, I would just click this Load button right here, and then we would just hit this Browse button, and then we see we have Galaxy Demo right here, and we can just go ahead and open that file. We can also choose to recall certain parameters or not, just like we were able to save certain parameters or not, depending on what we desire, so that we can just go ahead and load this session file. Super cool that we're able to save configurations for whatever use case that we have for the Galaxy 32. That's really, really awesome. Now, not only can we save configuration files to our computer to load to this Galaxy 32 or any other Galaxy 32, we also have 5 slots built into the unit itself to save those configurations too, so that we could take this anywhere we want and use it with a different computer and have those different configurations saved on the hardware. So over here on hardware presets, let's go ahead and just call this hardware preset Galaxy Demo, and we can go ahead and save that. And then in the future, if we made any changes, we could go right back there without having to open up Finder because that file is saved into one of the 5 slots on the Galaxy 32. Now, the last thing I want to show you in Galaxy Control Panel over here on the top right is our Info tab. Now, starting on the left over here, right here, we've got some really cool videos straight from Antelope on how to use Control Panel, how to use the routing specifically, and how to use the AFX specifically. So those are super cool if you need a general overview. Today, I wanted to show you more of how we're going to be using it in our specific situation. Now, in the middle, we have this little window that shows us which version of Control Panel we're using. Obviously, we have the most up-to-date version at the time of recording this video. That's going to be 1.1.17. And then below that, we can see that we have hardware version 5.3 of the Galaxy 32. And then we have our serial number as well as the firmware version of the Galaxy that we are using, which currently is 1.96. And right below that, we have the registration wizard. Now, if you were to purchase any additional plugins from Antelope, this is where you would go to activate them to your Galaxy 32. It's super simple. Just click on that and go through the steps of activating a new product. And then those plugins will then show up in your Galaxy 32 control panel. And then on the right here, we've got easy links to tech support straight from Antelope. If you're having any issues, make sure to hit that button, and the great tech support team at Antelope will make sure to reach out to you and help you out in any way that you can. Next to that, we've got our online manual if you need to reference the manual for any reason. And then the last thing over here on the right is contacts, and what that takes you to is a page in your browser where you can contact Antelope for any reason other than tech support. Really cool that Antelope includes these buttons built into Galaxy Control Panel if you're having any issues or just need any help from Antelope. And make sure to make use of that because Antelope's tech support is top tier. We really love Antelope for that. All right, so that's gonna do it for our Galaxy Control Panel overview using the brand new Antelope Audio Galaxy 32 Synergy Core. Huge thanks to Antelope for sending this out to us. We really appreciate it. And we just love the guys at Antelope and we love the products they make. And we look forward to bringing you more content on new stuff from Antelope in the future. And if you like this video, make sure to head down below and hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps us out and we really appreciate it. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content from us on some new stuff from Antelope and some new stuff from Midas as well. Also, make sure to check out the video description below where we're going to include some relevant links to this video, as well as a link to our website, that's toneproper.com. If you are in the greater Portland, Oregon area and have any audiovisual needs, we would love to work with you. So make sure to head to our website to learn more about who we are and what we do, and to learn how to get a hold of us as well. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and we'll see you in the next one.